Hey everyone, my name is Chris Panny. It's nice to connect with you. Today's call is intended to help those who are having trouble sharing the benefits of the Isagenix product line. If you're uncomfortable getting a conversation going, I want to help you overcome your apprehension when you're out there connecting with people. For many, it feels very awkward, and I can relate because I was one of those people. When I got started, I felt so uncomfortable. I was nervous, my stomach would be in knots, I had no experience, and I made it more complicated than it really is. So this is a skill, and skills can be learned. So don't get this idea in your head that you don't have what it takes. You can do this. You just have to learn. And I promise it gets easier with practice. If you're nervous about talking Isagenix with people, you're going into this too quickly. It's that simple. This is quite common for people when they first begin, so let's change up that approach. What I learned that got me over this hurdle is to ask questions during the course of an ordinary conversation. These are conversations that people have every day, and a lot of the ones that I get into will include some general questions, and as the conversation continues, my questions will get more specific. I like using the analogy of a funnel. The funnel is wide at the top, but as you get down to the base, it gets more targeted. Here's an example. Let's say I'm talking with someone I just met. It's very common to start out with small talk. You ask each other things like, how long have you lived here? What do you do for a living? What do you do for fun? Do you enjoy your work? And so on. Most of us have done this so many times that we don't even think about it. It just comes out naturally. But these questions that I ask, as simple and basic as they are, they help me to learn some things about the person I'm talking with. If I ask somebody what they do for a living, their answer is going to tell me a few things about their life. Namely, I find out how busy their schedule is. If they tell me they have a demanding job with a long commute, I know they don't have a lot of disposable time. They're stressed, they're tired, they're overworked. So I will in turn compliment them for their dedication and stamina by saying something like this. It's very admirable to hear how you manage such a hectic schedule. When do you get time to eat? See, I'm intentionally steering the conversation towards food. And more times than not, the person will say they have to eat something on the go. And it's usually takeaway food because most people eat for convenience. Now, this gives me some more information. It tells me they're spending more money than they need to, and they're not getting the best nutritional bang for their buck. And this was all from one simple question. When do you get time to eat? Now, I won't talk Isagenix just yet. Instead, I want to keep the rapport going, so I'll identify with them by saying something like this. I can relate. I've got a busy schedule too, and for a long time I was grabbing my meals on the go, but I was always feeling unsatiated. A couple of years ago, I found a really convenient option that was saving me money, and it was healthier. That is going to create some curiosity in their mind. So the person will ask me, well, what are you buying? And I'll reply with this. My friend told me about a company that makes super healthy foods that are perfect for people with busy schedules. For less than $5, I get a healthy meal without cutting corners on nutrition, and I feel better. They're most likely going to ask me the name of the product or the company, and this is how I always reply. It's a company called Isagenix International. Have you heard of them? There are a few reasons why I ask if they've even heard of them, because it will influence how I proceed from here. If they haven't heard of them, or they have and heard good things, then I can more easily talk about products and benefits. On the other hand, if they heard negative things about the company, I have to know what they heard in order to address this. Now, in most cases, they read something on the internet. And when I hear what they say, I never challenge them, even when I know it's inaccurate. Instead, I'll say this. Unfortunately, the internet is home to a lot of misinformation. When you read negative or positive reviews, you don't know what the motive was. It could have been a competitor who paid someone to post slander about the company, and then I'll elaborate more specifically based on what the person told me. If it's a question of integrity, meaning how ethically they operate, I let them know Isagenix has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. If it's inaccurate information about how products are made, I'll point out the peer-reviewed studies published in medical journals. So when you're faced with skepticism, you'll learn how to address this by providing accurate, irrefutable information. I've got a few more talking points and then I'll wrap this up. So hopefully you're starting to see the logic of why I ask basic questions and then I get into more specific ones. Don't worry about making the sale when you first engage someone. This is a process. First, you have to develop a rapport and build some level of trust. The sale will come after the person sees benefits for themselves. This business relies on effective communication, and communication is a skill. It can be learned with guidance and practice, so don't get discouraged. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Feel free to post comments or questions. This is how we learn. If you like what you heard today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Team ISA Alliance.